All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, shipmates, it's time, boys, for that Across Your Bow podcast, episode 12, with today, my special guest today, my man, my boy, Mother Fluffin' Caist. What's up, Caist? How you doing today, man?
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Venom, thank you guys for having me.
Hey, man, thank you for being here. I know we've been trying to set this up for a little bit, but we finally got our schedules intertwined here to where we can actually make it happen. Guys, if y'all don't know, I am Sir Venom IK. Salutes, my friends. Welcome to the channel. If you guys are over on YouTube, you guys right there on the bottom of the screen, twitch.tv/Sir Venom IK. My man right here is Caist. Caist, tell him what you're working on, man, at the show.
So I am a World of Warship streamer, just like the average master here. Average master.
Dean of Average.
Dean of Average.
We'll take Dean of Average today.
Dean of Average. I'm live pretty much the same time as Sir Venom. Yeah.
What you playing? What you been playing?
Oh, I'm all battleships, dude. I'm all battleships. I'm a battleship main. I'm a battleship main. Absolutely suck at cruisers. Okay at DDs, and I won't touch CVs right now with a 30-foot pole. So
CVs are rough. We'll talk about CVs on a future cast. I have plans for that one. But CVs are pretty rough to learn. They're making it very easy with the new rework that they're working on. They're making it very accessible, and I want to say quasi-intuitive, man. Some of the things that they've done on that have been pretty good and intuitive and learning. But the way that they're balancing it out right now is it still needs work. So they're still working on it. So
as long as the they gotta fix the AA. AA has to be fixed.
Well, I know wow, that's a CV question, but the biggest complaint that I have is that the inconsistency of the AA. Because one time you'll go in, you'll shoot down 30 planes on a volley, or however many planes comes in from a midway. The next one, and you're on a Des Moines, excuse me. You're on a Des Moines, and then the next one you only shoot down 3 planes, and they drop you for 30,000 damage. And I'm like, you can't. That's got to be some kind of balance in there to where you do it. But you guys can go find him over on his channel, twitch.tv/Caist, that's CAIST, and then you guys can hit him up on his Twitter at Caist with an underscore, because apparently there was somebody else and he had to make himself unique.
Yep.
There you go. So today on the show we will go into our 9 questions of averageness, so you guys can get to know Mr. Caist. Then we'll talk about the Santa crates. We'll talk about the BB change aftermath, as the BB change has been here for a couple of weeks now, and it's a pretty good. I think it's a pretty good thing. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. We'll talk to a battleship main guy here, and let me open up my deal. So if you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns, if you guys are over on the YouTubes, leave them in the comment section below, and we will address those if and when I get a chance to, which I probably will, because not too many people are commenting at the moment, so I have ample time. So there you go. So Caist, you want to talk about some news?
Yeah, let's talk about some news.
Has there been anything over the past week that have caught your attention in the news category that you would like to talk about with these beautiful people here today?
The Warships premium accounts.
Yeah, the premium account.
That's going to be an interesting change for those people who just play Warships exclusively, and then it's kind of, I don't know, is it?
You want to link that in there for them?
Yeah, I can link that for them.
That in the chat for them.
I am a little torn, because I do play all the games. I play tanks, I play ships. I haven't played planes, so if planes is even still active, couldn't tell you.
Planes at the moment is still active, yes.
But I'm kind of sitting here going, okay, so how is it I'm paying for all of the games and I'm kind of not getting the same level of bonuses for everything, So the Warships premium account, you actually get slightly increased rewards just for doing that one game. Whereas if you're a supporter for all the games, you're kind of not quite. Does that make sense?
Well, my understanding of the World of Warships premium account, where it's just warships only, is a way for them to specify who's actually playing what games, and to limit and narrow down some of the rewards. So, hey, if you buy this instead of that, then you will get more experience, more credits, more captain experience, more free XP, so on and so on. The doubloons are all the same from what I'm seeing. When we're talking doubloons, we're talking about premium time purchases. It's the same. 24 hours is still 250 doubloons for the Warships premium versus the Wargaming premium, which is obviously Wargaming premium goes across tanks and planes and all that other stuff. And then moving up for 30 days, it's 2,500 doubloons, which is about $12 or so American. Somewhere around there. You have to adjust for your own zone, but interesting concept. I don't know if it'll. I think there's people like me who don't play tanks and who don't play planes or any other wargaming product, or have very little interest in those products. It would be good for those people, because why am I paying for all of this stuff when I'm only going to use this one? Yeah, so I see both sides of it. I see some of the people. It's only bonus experience. Excuse me. There's no credit bonuses or anything like that. But free XP, Commander XP, total experience. Is it worth it? Maybe to some people. Do I think it's worth it? Probably not, because I've got 300 days of premium time already.
That's where I'm at right now. And if we actually had, so for those that don't know, I'm in the clan Cutie. There's several people in the clan that actually kind of verified some information from this, and even though it's kind of in the information, there was a PSA went out about this. It says, with the arrival of Warships Premium, your current premium will convert to Warships Premium, as well as keeping the normal premium for other games. So you're going to get the bonus if you have 360 something days. You're going to get the Warships Premium for that 360 days, but you're also going to get the War Gaming Premium as well. Yeah. So you're not going to lose anything. You're going to be ahead, actually.
They'll run simultaneously, and once that 360 days is out, then your Wargaming account premium falls off, and your Warships premium continues. That's what we're moving forward. So if you guys are interested in that, man, he already linked it. And if you guys are on YouTube, man, I will link that in the description below. You guys just scroll down there and look at that. I don't know, man. For captain retraining, I guess it'll be good.
Yeah, because the commander experience was about 420 higher. Yeah.
Yeah.
720.
On a this is without premium time, as a base free XP of 540, 540 base free XP. Wargaming premium account would be 810, and then a Warships premium account on that same 540 would be 891. So it's another 81, I guess, for the Commander experience base at 4,800 without premium time. The Wargaming premium would net you 7,200, and the Warships premium would net you 7,920 Commander experience. The without premium on total experience being 3,600 base, with the premium time would be 5,400, and with the Warships premium would be 5,940. So it's a minor upgrade, which will also help out a couple of people doing those missions. There's a lot of missions out there that are like, oh, you need this much experience, you need this, you need that to continue on. Especially with some of these legendary modules, it would take a couple of games off. For every 10 games that you play, you're basically getting a free game out of it.
Yeah, basically.
Something like that. If let's just take 81. No, we're looking for total experience here. So we'll take 540 times 10. That's we're looking at 540 bonus experience that you would get with Warships Premium. Times that by 10 games, you're getting another 5,400 experience. So that's basically the same thing. So for every 10 games, you're getting one full game of experience.
It's an average game, yeah.
No. I don't know. I mean,
or a really good loss.
It seems very minimal, but I'm assuming with everything there is. I'm not sure how multipliers. I'm not sure how the multipliers would work. If I was to flag up and do all these things, and I have a really good game, and I get, there's games that you have 15, 16, 18,000 total experience. Would that translate into, how much more would that translate into? So I mean, I see it both. So bottom line is, man, for somebody who plays nothing but warships, this is a good thing. For somebody who plays everything, then this is not necessarily something that you want to buy into. But there you go. Well, any thoughts on that? Any final thoughts on that?
No, I mean, even Wargaming reaches out and says, if you prefer World of Warships, play it a lot and often, Warships Premium account is for you. If you play World of Tanks and World of Warplanes as well, just as actively as World of Warships, the Wargaming Premium account will suit you best. So it does.
So they're aware of they're aware of the rest of it. All right, cool. If you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns, please go ahead and type them in there right now. We'll take a Q&A at the end of the podcast. If y'all want any more clarifications or anything like that, or something that we have gathered, go ahead and type those questions in, and we will address those a little bit later on. So, moving forward, how many of you guys have a console? Raise your hand. I got a console. You don't got a console. World of Warships Legends is now coming to the PS4 and Xbox One. Now, this is something that we've heard rumblings about in the community for a couple of months now. I know there's some people that I know. I think Volgar was in the alpha, and a couple other guys that had said that they were in the alpha of it. It is now into closed beta. The closed beta starts on December the 21st. If you guys are interested in trying it out on PS4 or Xbox, here is the link for that right there, and I will link that it'll be in description below for you guys over on YouTube. So, console version of Warships. Have you seen anything about this other than that video? That beta trailer?
Just the beta trailer. I've heard a couple streamers rumbling about it. There is no CVs in it. You're kind of looking at it's a console version of the mobile game, basically. Is from what I'm gathering.
Well, check this out. I figure I have an answer why there's no CVs for it. Because they're still reworking the CVs. What they've done to the CVs in this change is very arcadey.
Mm-hmm.
It's very accessible and would be very viable for a controller setup.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking that once they roll out this CV rework, then they should be able to roll out something along the lines to throw CVs into the game, and all they have to do is port it out to PlayStation and Xbox and patch it, and that should I think that once they get this all fleshed out, then you'll probably see CVs in the console version. I don't think the mobile version's going to get them because I'm not sure how that would work. But don't you have phones? I wouldn't mind trying it out. I've signed up for the beta. I've pre-registered for the beta. I have not figured out how to download the beta, but I wouldn't mind playing this thing. The first closed beta weekend is scheduled for December the 21st, 2018. Pre-register now at http://wowslegends.com to get an exclusive access to future closed beta weekends and special game rewards when the game launches in 2019. Now, my question to you guys is how many of y'all played beta, alpha, or beta here? That's the question.
Nope.
My man Disciple's got a question. We'll talk about that here in a minute. All right, so how many of you guys played alpha and beta? How many of you guys actually have the Iwaki alpha or the Arkansas beta? I don't have the Arkansas beta or the Iwaki alpha. So no. I'm thinking that maybe that this might be an opportunity to pick up something that they've done that will be especially for the alpha guys, especially for the closed beta guys, and then open beta testers and so on and so on. I mean, you got a flag, you can get the Arkansas beta, you can get the Grimioshki, you can get the I guess the Nikolai was involved in that as well, alpha beta, I believe, and you can get those test flags, and that's something, you know, for somebody like me who pretty much has everything. What else is there for me to collect? Flags. So that would be something that would push me into it. I don't know. Would it drive you to get a console, Caist?
Probably not.
Probably not. It's not good enough for you to get a console. Well, not for ships. I mean, because you play it on ships. The next thing is, so what do you guys think of what do you guys think of a console version of the game? Since there is no CVs, your battleships are going to be pretty much the awesomeness. For some of those people that don't have a computer that can run, or that don't have a computer at all, because I still know people who don't have computers, and all they do is play on console. This is an opportunity for them to come in. It can only help the community, getting an influx of new players, regardless how good they are. It can only help the community. It can only help to grow the game, giving more views, pushing more views on Twitch, pushing more views on YouTube, pushing more views on Facebook if you're a Facebook streamer or mixer. It can only help to push more views. So with that influx, then people, what happens when you come into a stream? You look, hey, well, I don't know this. Let's go ask somebody who's been playing the game for a while. And maybe it might be some mechanics. I don't know how much the mechanics would translate from PC to console, though. What do you think, man? What do you think for the mechanics?
See, I had a friend that that actually worked for EA, and he helped program between consoles and PC games, and he said there's a lot of things in consoles that a lot of diehard console players don't agree with, but he says that they're programmed in there. There's aimbots, and you know, there's all these different things to help you shoot better from a controller, because
you can't be as precise. You can't be as precise
because a keyboard and mouse is statistically a very superior way of controlling something in a game. And how would you do that in warships? You know,
I don't know. It wouldn't. Well, we already kind of have an aimbot, even built into ships on the PC, being as you can track whatever you're targeted. It will auto track it. So that's kind of an aimbot. And if they bring that mechanic to the console, will it make a difference? No. Are you still going to be able to precision place your shots, moving your cursor back and forward? Yes. It'll probably, shooting wise, should play exactly the same.
And I think they would have to tighten dispersion too, because aiming can't be as on par.
I don't know about on par. It all depends on how the dispersion factor is.
Sure.
I mean, because there's so many RNG factors, you know, to this game, and I still argue that this game is 70% RNG, and the only things that you actually have control over are when you pull the trigger, where your shots are headed. That's it. So as soon as those shots leave the barrels of your guns, it's all up to RNGs, and then positioning on the map and understanding the flow of the game. So that's the 30% of this game that's actually player skill, and you can offset some of that. And some people argue that it's 50-50, which I disagree with, but I think it's more of a 70-30 RNG factor. What do you think?
Oh, I agree. I think it's 100. It's definitely, there is a massive influx of RNG in this game. I see it all the time, you know, and statistically, a lot of people say the Yamato is one of the best battleships in terms of dispersion and everything in the game. I don't see it.
I think,
and for those who actually watch my channel, can actually attest to that.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like fires with me. I mean, I have the worst RNG when it comes to setting fires. I have a game of nothing but HE shells and a Worcester, 150 hits for one fire. 150 hits for one fire, and that you guys can go look at the VODs. I have games in the ZOW where I have over 100 hits and only one fire. I don't really count the second fire because it was like at the very end of the game. 100 plus hits on that. I have a 200 hit game in the Crudersoft, which was 2 fires. So it's literally 1% of the fire chance. I also have a lot of games where I have 10 or 11 fires. So there's really never been a middle ground for me when it comes to fires. I either get all the fires or I get none of the fires. There's never a middle ground there, and I think that that's the same thing with the Yamato versus a Montana. The Montana is a little bit more consistent than the Yamato is, which is why people lean more toward the Montana being a jack of all trades type of boat being better than the Yamato. So we'll have to see. I can't wait. I'm actually kind of want to get on it. I don't think we'll be able to stream the closed beta, but if I am able to get on it, I will play it and let you guys know my thoughts and feelings whenever I can. I'm assuming closed beta there's some kind of NDA. I don't know. I haven't been accepted. So as soon as they do that, I'm sure if I am accepted, which I hope, guys. Hey, Wargaming, if y'all are watching, I would like to play, and I know Caist would like to. Well, Caist doesn't have a console, but I'd like to play at least. So hit me up with that code or that download, man. I'd love to give it a shot. So.
I mean, anybody from Wargaming out there, I know this is going to come from my best friend. He's going to ask, when is it coming out on the Nintendo Switch?
The Switch. That Switch it's funny. Okay. So that was pretty much all the news. There wasn't really anything too spectacular happen. I know Clan Wars are up in full swing right now. How's y'all's clan doing in Clan Wars?
It seems to be up and downs lately for at least Cutie standpoint. Cute's doing a little bit better. Cuter is actually doing pretty damn good. I watched Dort with 07 the other day. They were doing really well. It seems, and once again, NA is very different compared to EU clan battles.
Yeah, it's a little different.
Because the metas between the two regions are considerably different. So...
What would you prefer? I prefer a very quick paced game, and I think this season, from what I've watched, I have not played any Clan Wars guys this season yet. I think our clan, the 5-inch clan, has only played one game, and it was one just to get the retrains, and then they stopped playing. But from what I've seen, it's a little bit more aggressive this season so far.
It's a very aggressive season from what I've been watching, and there's certain ships that I feel would be very suited to these type of game styles, but unfortunately they're not in the accepted meta right now.
Well, you know, to shift the meta, somebody has to win on it and a lot, right?
Yeah.
And somebody has to notice that, and then somebody else will pick it up and then be like, oh, this is what's working. I still think Montana's still the best for it. I know Kurfürst with the aggressive style. Kurfürst is really strong for it. Also, the Republic is really strong as well, being able to get out on the flanks. But who knows what? I don't know what they're seeing. What are you guys seeing?
The Montana is actually a bench ship right now for NA. It's not accepted in the clan battles for the meta. This right now, it's Yamato.
Well,
Yamato is number one,
probably.
And then the Repub is the only other one that they would suggest doing alternative.
Yeah, I'm going to play what I'm comfortable in. If I'm comfortable in a Montel, I'm going to play it. If I'm not comfortable in any of the others, I'm going to play the Montana and do my best in it. That's one thing that I don't really care for when it comes to meta or following along with the meta, is that I'm not comfortable in this ship, so I'm not going to play that ship. I'm going to play what I know what I can do in it. If I don't have very many games in, say, a GK or something, I'm not going to put that into a clan battle situation. Or if I'm not comfortable in a Yamato, or I'm not consistent with the Yamato, I am not going to put that into a clan battle situation, because now I have these other 6 guys that are counting on me to make these shots. What am I going to be the most comfortable making the shots in? The Montana, because it's the most consistent. So that's my mentality when it comes to meta, and I've never been one to follow the meta too much. So, but the meta's out there, so obviously it does have merit, because everybody's running it.
But it's like last season, the last season meta was everybody running the Mosfa,
Yeah, lots of Mosfas, lots of Stalingrads. As well, especially in the ranked season, and during that during the ranked season, right after the Stalingrad came out, there was loads and loads of Stalingrads in there, and everybody started going off on that. Oh, it's meta, and then we're like, okay, fine. So I started bringing a Conqueror into it, and I started obliterating these Stalingrads with my HE shells, and not only HE shells, but the big gun HE shells that was just absolutely smashing through, setting these guys on fire, doing 10 or 12,000 damage in the bow. It started to break that meta. So we need to set a meta, then we need to find a team out there that will break the meta and just absolutely hammer that, and then guess what? That becomes the new meta. So there you go. So be that team, break the meta, boys. Break the meta. Final thoughts on Clan Wars this season. How close are you to getting your Stalingrads? Are you going to save 10. Up? Are you going to save up for that Burguniones?
I'm about 10K away, and I think I would probably go with the Stalingrad over the baguette. The
baguette. I was watching Dort play the baguette today, and it seems like an Alsace. I mean, the Alsace has got 15-inch guns, but it's got some really weird pin on it, because I've pinned bow pin and bow citadel things that was really weird that you really wouldn't think that a 15-inch gun would be able to do. It's definitely going to be a flanking ship, like most of the French boats are. And feel free to switch over to HE with those smaller guns. I mean, like, I have no problem seeing French boats switch over to HE when you're shooting at other boats because of the smaller caliber guns.
Oh yeah, it's like the Jean Bart. The Jean Bart's a very powerful ship at tier 9.
Yeah, the Jean Bart. I think the biggest. I don't know, man. People want to play that Jean Bart, and they want to be up in your face with that thing, and that is not an up in your face boat. It just can't tank at tier 8 boat, a Richelieu being at tier 9. It just cannot tank very well. So you end up playing it on the flank like the rest of them, and it does very well on the outside. Up in your dome, no, nay.
I mean, I had my highest kill count ever in the Jean Bart.
Which was?
8.
Nice. My highest is 8 on the Julius Caesar, but that, I don't know, does that count?
It counts.
It counts. All right, guys. Any questions, comments, or concerns on that? We're hanging out with my man Caist. You guys can hit him up over on his Twitter there at Caist_, and then over on twitch.tv/Caist if you guys want to go talk to him there as well. And I highly encourage you guys to go over to his channel and send him a follow. All right, are you ready for the 9 questions of averageness, my friend?
Yes, sir.
All right, 9 questions of averageness coming to you right now. Question number 1. How did you find World of Warships?
How did I find World of Warships? Actually, what's funny is this was several years ago, I watched somebody in the open alpha. It was the open alpha or closed beta. I don't remember exactly, but Giant Waffle was streaming it on his channel. And I tried for so long to get into that closed beta or open or closed alpha or whatever it was at the time. And I tried for so long to get into it, and I didn't get it. Just wasn't happening. So when the game actually released, I remember going, okay, I'm going to install this. And I never actually played it. And one afternoon, I was like, one time I was going to start to stream, and I was like, I want to try something different. Because I was streaming World of Warcraft at the time, so you get buried in the views. Yeah. So I was like, I want to go try something different. So I tried World of Warships, and I actually started having a lot of fun playing it, and keep playing it. So that's where I found it a long time ago. I didn't really start playing until recently, though. I'm just a hair over a year into the game.
You've only been playing this game for a year now?
About that, yeah.
Oh wow. I didn't know that. All right, so you started off playing World of Warships. What made you decide to start streaming, not just ships, but in general? Where did you?
So, I'm actually clinically diagnosed with severe anxiety. A lot of people out there probably have similar mental health issues that they deal with. And I actually found that streaming, I always aspired to certain streamers like Towley and certain individuals that I watch, and Sevidus was one. And I would watch these people and I would be like, I really want to do this. And finally I sat down and just said, I'm doing this. I'm going to sit down. I'm going to try this. So I started streaming, and I remember my anxiety was just gone. And I was just like, this is really almost therapeutic to me. I was having fun. I was socializing with people. It was a really good time to have these random conversations. And I just felt like I could be me. So that was really my motivation, was to keep going. It's just that therapeutic feeling of, I want to play. I want to just have a good time.
It's a lot of people's motivations, regardless of the therapeutic aspect that it's happening on you. A lot of people are just like, I just want to have a good time, and it ends up benefiting them mentally, as well as just having a community, having friends to talk to, meeting people at TwitchCon, that kind of stuff. Having something to look forward to every day is always something to come back to more and more. All right, so we've talked about, as everybody knows, you have streamers have ups and downs. They go through a lot of good things. They go through a lot of bad things. What are some of the things that have set you back, that made you change the way you think about your stream, and what you think that you need to do to progress?
So I've had 2 different reboots of my stream, actually. So my first one was, I had some severe personal issues. Actually, both of the times I stopped for a couple weeks, and I had some severe some personal issues at home that I had to deal with at the time. And each time I would come back, I would change something. I would rebrand. I would do something like that. And so I had to rebuild my community up, and that's hard. That's hard, because sometimes you get people that used to watch you all the time, and they would shoot you these messages like, where have you been? And I'm like, I can't talk to you about this. It's just, it sucks, but I can't talk to you about it. I mean, between that and sometimes you have nights where you are your only viewer. One viewer, you're it.
Having conversations with your bot. Hey, bot, how's it going?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And,
I think we've all been there.
I'm a statistics guy. And when you pull up your statistics and you look and you see 30% of your streams over the course of 3 months is just you, that's a kind of a wake-up call. And you kind of sit there and go, okay, do you quit? Or do you revitalize yourself? And for me, it was actually right around the time TwitchCon happened. And each time TwitchCon happened, it was like, okay, this actually really brought me back into what I want to do. I want to get back into this. It's going to motivate me. Even I don't care if I'm talking to myself. Right. I'm going to be in there. I'm going to be live 5, 6, 7 nights a week and just do nothing but stream these games, stream what I want to stream and have fun.
There you go.
Or be super salty. I don't care. As long as I'm enjoying it, I'm going to be there.
Yeah, I think that I think TwitchCon is like church. Now, no, I don't get down on religion, but this is the way churches work, in my opinion. Church is based solely on emotion and solely on just getting that. Oh, it's Sunday. Yeah, we got to go to church. And then you get all that big, healthy, really good feelings and vibes, and you're good. And then, TwitchCon is the same thing. You go to a TwitchCon, you get all these ideas. I mean, you're talking to people that you watch. You're talking to people that watch you. You're talking to your friends in the community. I know, we hung out. We hung out 2017. We hung out last year. We'll probably hang out again next year. And just enjoy the thing of what streaming is, and having a community around you and people that you can talk to, that you don't have to explain what you do. Exactly. That is a big thing, because like one of the worst things that I have to do is, oh, well, what do you do? Oh, well, I'm a streamer. What do you mean you're a streamer? Oh, I play games, and I play games on Twitch. Oh, what's Twitch? Oh, okay. So then you go down this rabbit hole of it's the same question over and over and over again. And so basically I've just come up with, it's just like YouTube, but I'm live all the time.
And it's funny because I remember sitting in the airport. Waiting for my connecting flight out of Atlanta, and I'm sitting there and I'm wearing my Twitch swag, of course. It's like, okay,
everybody wears their Twitch
everybody
swag
wears
back to the
Twitch
airport.
swag. Yeah. So I'm sitting in the airport going to TwitchCon, and all of a sudden the terminal starts filling up, and I'm looking around. I'm like, oh, Twitch. And it's funny because it wasn't like we started spreading out. It was, we all just started sitting next to each other. And then somebody starts standing up and goes, okay, hey, all right, here's my business card. Let me get yours. And then start handing them out. And it's like, okay, I'm going to grab this. I'm going to grab this. I'm going to grab this. And it was really cool because it was like, oh, I just met a bunch of these different people here. And it's like, I'm not even at the con yet.
Yeah. I know where I live, it's a very relatively small area of Texas, and there's not. I know one other streamer that actually lives. Two of them technically that actually live in the area, but they're so far apart. I live 50 miles away from them, and I'm not going to go communicate with these people. I don't know them, and so going to TwitchCon is one thing, and then coming back from TwitchCon is something totally different. I go to TwitchCon this year. I'm pretty much all by myself until I actually land in San Jose. On the way back, I saw Caist in the airport. I had some French fries, and then there goes my connecting flight. I'm going from San Jose to Dallas, and so there it is. And when I get on the plane, I go toward the back of the plane. And there's everybody that I have followed or I have been watching for years are sitting in the back of the plane because they all live in Dallas. So I was like, hey, man, can I get a seat? And they're like, sure, come on, Venom, let's go. I got you a seat right here. So I sat next to my man Xenoside Genius. I sat next to my man Pox, and some Geo and these other people that I have watched and I have played, and we have interacted with each other's communities over the course of the last 5 years. And I was like, wow, that's amazing. And so it was a beautiful trip back. It was probably the best flight I ever had. Just being able to sit there and talk with somebody and not have to explain what's going on, and it's definite big boost, and that's what TwitchCon does. That's what Twitch does for people, and that's the mental state that people love to be in. Especially when you're coming off of a downside, and I'm just glad that I was able to find this community here in World of Warships, and I know you've been able to go to gain some success with World of Warships yourself, and I wish you all the best. All right, so next question. At what point did streaming click for you? Meaning, was there anything that you did that you were like, yes, this is working, we're gonna ride this, or anything like that?
I think it was my decision to go to TwitchCon 3 years ago, actually. So this past TwitchCon was my third, and I made the decision to buy a plane. My little sister lived in Bought a plane, yeah. Bought a plane ticket. My little sister lives in San Diego. I stayed with her, and I Ubered into the convention hall every day. And I was able to I'm an introvert by nature, and it's funny because people look at me and go, you're an introvert? Right. Wait a minute. You're streaming in front of X number of people. What is going on? And I'm like, yeah, I'm an introvert. It's different when you're sitting in front of a camera and playing a game that you love. So I made the decision. I jumped on a plane. I went out to San Diego, and I met people that I was huge fans of. And it was something that actually made me really change how I pushed forward. And I still think about that first TwitchCon was amazing. There were people that I met there that it was funny because last year's I saw them again, and they knew exactly who I was. This one that just happened, I met more people, and they remembered me. And all these people, it's like, oh, you actually know who I am. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's a good feeling.
These people that's just awesome to me. It's because, somebody like, I'm going to toss out a warship's name here. All right. Seveda, or Mijosh. He knew who I was. Yeah. He knew who I was. He was like, he looks at me. Classic Katie was another one. I'm a big person in her stream. And I remember walking up to her, and she goes, all she did, because she's never seen my face before, obviously. she looks at your tag, your
It's
badge,
exactly
and
the
it's
way
like
it goes.
says your name. You look at it, and she just jumps over to you and gives you this big hug. She's like, I know exactly who you are. You are one of my closest friends. It's not you're a fan. You're a friend. You're a friend of the stream, and that's really having those TwitchCon experiences is really every single time it's another click and another.
If y'all have never made it to TwitchCon, here's how the conversation goes. Oh, hey man, how you doing? Oh man, it's so good. I love your streams. And they look down. You are your username to these people. You are legitimately your username to these people because they don't see you when they're doing their show. And going back to the kind of just sitting behind a camera, you are in your own home. This is a place where I don't like to use the term safe space, but that's basically what it is. You can do whatever you want to in your own house, and you can feel comfortable doing these things. So when you go through and you start saying things that might be a little bit personal, you still have that I'm good because I'm at my house, and that is a little bit of release that some people might not be able to go out there and say, hey, I have this issue, this is my problem, because majority of the time people out there, they don't care, and if they're in your channel, they do care, and they care about you, and they want to see your content, and they want to interact with you in some way, even if it's just a troll, and I encourage those. So
I kind of going off, not really going off track here, but kind of really hitting on that right now. For those that don't know, and I'm going to get a little personal here, my son was in the ICU this, not last week, the week before. He was actually diagnosed as type 1 diabetic. And it's funny because I jumped, and I was gone at a bunch of friends' channels for a while, and I remember jumping back in to do a resub, and they were like, hey, where have you been? And I'm like, oh yeah, this is what's going on, blah, 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 blah. And it was like, they stopped the stream, and they're like, okay, first off, are you okay? How is everything going? What's going on? It's like, okay, let me hear your life story because I care about you.
Yeah,
you disappeared out of my channel all of a sudden, and it's like I want to be, I want to be there and make sure that you're okay, because there are there are trolls. Yes, there are people that actually, they make your life miserable, but there are those people in your channel that do care. And there are several people in the Warships community that if they disappeared out of my stream, I would be legit sad about, you know?
There's a lot of people that come and go. People come and go on Twitch all the time, and some people come in and they lurk all the time, and you've never said anything to them, and that happens. And lurkers make the Twitch world go round, and we always appreciate lurkers. But it's that you grow to know these people by what they present out there on that chat, and whether they're telling the truth or not, you have no way to know if they're telling you the truth or not. So you just kind of have to accept it at face value of what they're saying. Then if you do accept people at face value, sometimes people are actually telling you the truth, and those people that you actually end up giving a shit about. And sorry for the language, but that's it. You actually care about these people, and I care about. I love the community. I love Warships and what it's done for me, and me and my family, and all these beautiful people that come in here and they chit chat and they give me crap about being an average guy or whatever. So,
but I mean, that's the thing. If you stay in touch with your community, they're always going to hit you back. They're always going to come back and, oh crap, this is going on. I'm going to be out for a medical emergency for a week or a couple days or whatever. You're going to get PMs of people saying, what's going on? Are you okay? Do you need anything?
Do you need something? Yeah.
Yeah. Do you need something was the biggest question that I received while I had to take that week off. And it was, I just love the fact that there were people there to actually say, okay, your son's okay, but how are you doing? That's the biggest question, is like, how are you handling this situation? And that's the biggest. That's amazing.
Yeah, it's a hard thing, and I know, and I'm gonna let you guys on a little secret here. When we all of us streamers love being able to interact and to talk with everybody out there. There's some things that need to be taken to private messages that are a little bit too personal. so I encourage you guys to, if y'all have an issue or something like that, send me a private message, and we can discuss that. And I'm sure Caist is the same way.
Yep.
There's a time and a place for a lot of these things. And if you're having personal issues, then I don't want to put you out into a spot where it's uncomfortable for me, uncomfortable for you, and uncomfortable for everybody else in the chat. So take them. I encourage people to take them into the private messages. And you guys could send me messages. You guys could send me Twitch mails. You guys could send me Twitter mails, whatever. And I do look at them, and I do reply, Discord, whatever. So there you go. All right. So far in your streaming career, what has been your biggest achievement in streaming, or what are some of goals that you are looking to achieve through your stream and chips?
So one of my biggest achievements was actually getting affiliate. I was so happy about that. And forgive me a second here. I've got a cat that's deciding to jump up on my desk. So, getting affiliate was a huge deal for me. It was like, I feel like I'm actually achieving something. Actually, Twitch implementing the achievements as part of your stream was a huge thing for me, because I like seeing those little milestones that you get as you keep going up and up and up and up. And that's really cool to me. It's not big things for me, it's little things. It's the new sub. I hit my highest sub count ever. I actually hit double digits for the first time ever, and I actually almost cried. I was just like, wow, there are that many people out there that actually care enough to sub to my channel. And that was touching to me. That was a recent development. I was just so happy about that. So, just the little things for me. It's always been the little things. It's always been, oh, I just hit 500 follows. I can't believe that.
Right.
There are 500 people that actually care enough to follow my channel. There are 10 people that actually care enough to sub to my channel. It's funny because I actually, one of the people that we hung out with at TwitchCon, Hyper Zen Girl, she's actually in the channel. She and I have had a lot of those chats about the little milestones that we go through and actually achieve. And it's like, she mentioned it. She can hit me later if she hates me for doing this, but her first 10,000 bit, that was she said that was or it was 5,000 or something like that, and she said that was one of her things where she sat there like, what?
Shocked.
Wait a
the
minute,
system.
what?
Yeah.
What's going on? Shell shocked. And it's the little things for me. I still have a clip saved of my very first sub. And that's something I will hold on to for a very long time.
Yeah.
So
it becomes a personal thing, because you as a streamer are putting yourself out there. This is me. This is who I am, or whatever persona that you want to throw out there. And everybody knows that if you're in my channel, I am who I am here, as I am out there. Caist can attest to this because we've been together for the last 2 years. That sounds really homo, but that's okay. He knows I'm exactly the same as I am on stream as I am out in the world. And that this is who I am, and when somebody accepts you for who you are, and they like, I want to help support this guy, then that's a big that's a big feels, bros, big feels coming out here.
There were times at TwitchCon where Senpai and I would turn around, or even the year before that with UK Deepwater and we would turn around. Where did Venom go? Where did he go? Oh shit, he's back there. Excuse my language. He's back there talking to somebody. He's over there talking to the Harley Quinn cosplayer. It's like, where did he go? Oh, okay. He's talking to the pizza delivery guy, or it's like he's like,
I did too. I talked to everybody, man. I mean, it don't matter who you are. I don't care, black, white, don't matter, gay, straight. I don't care. You're people, and that's what we need to understand about streamers. Streamers are people. They're just normal people, and maybe they have their little quirks or kinks, as if you were, but everybody's just people, and if you treat people like people, then everybody's gonna get along pretty good. They hated me last year. This year they were like, well, I can't hang out with Venom, man. He just walks off and does talk on his own thing. And DeKing found that out the third day when we were walking around the floor. How I just and just went into talk mode. I guess I don't know, man. It was great. It was good times. So here you go. This one's kind of a little bit different question here. What would you say that makes you stand out as a streamer? Meaning, what makes you different than any of the other World of Warship streamers that are on the platform right now? Different from me, different from Thor, me, Jace, all these B6s, all these other people.
That's a hard question for me, and I almost feel like sometimes I feel like I'm more of a conglomerate of everybody. Like I'm this just giant mixing pool of everybody. Big thing in my channel is family. Yeah. One of the biggest things that I love to say to people on my channel is, welcome to the Dragon's Den. This is a place where strangers become friends and friends become family. And everybody in my channel is welcomed with open arms. I don't care whether you watching for the content, watching for the game, watching to troll me, watching to just lurk. I don't care. I don't care if you're just watching me for the free Twitch crates.
Just come watch it.
Just come watch. You are welcome, and you are part of the friends. You are in my channel, and you are a friend. And if you are there for long enough, you definitely will be welcomed as part of the Dragon's Den family. And I am always welcoming people around for that, because that's one of the other things is I don't care what question you ask. I don't care if you ask me about something that you think would be the most dumb question in the history of the game. I don't care. I'm going to answer the question for you. The only time I may ridicule you is if you use survival expert on a battleship, but that's about it. I'm going to make fun of you for that, but then I'm going to explain to you why I'm making fun of you for it.
Right.
I will welcome anybody. I don't care. And that's the biggest thing for me. I was welcomed with open arms in times of need, when I needed to be helped.
There you go.
And I'm going to do the same.
I feel exactly the same way. It takes a lot. It takes a lot to make a streamer. Everybody has their different levels of success with streaming, and it takes the community to make those things happen. So being appreciative of what you do have is something that I think a lot of people lose sight of when they grow a little bit too bigger. Then again, there's also those people out there that if you aren't following their channel for 10, 15 minutes or a day or 24 hours, then you can't talk to them. And that's the biggest off-putting thing that I see about streamers today, and especially in warships, because they're everywhere, and there's some in warships that if you don't sub to them, they don't talk to you. And I'm sorry, but that's not a good way, in my opinion, to build up a community, because I want the interaction. I want you to ask me the dumb question, or the question that you think is dumb, because I could go off on an hour and a half on just how nonsense, make up a story, whatever. And that gives more content and gives entertainment back to the guys that are here for whatever reason they're here for. And Caist is pretty good at that, too. All right, so question number 7. Who influences you as a person to go to that next level? Be it a person, an artist, a book, a movie, anything that you could think of that helps push your content and in the ships community or any other community that you're involved with.
Oh God, I mean, that's even harder of a question, because if I had to choose one person, one streamer in specifically that would influence me the most out of everything, it would probably be Towley. And the reason is because I followed Towley on his X-Fire days. So for those who have been around the game streaming environment for a while now, there is Twitch, there was Justin.tv, and before Justin TV there was X-Fire. And
X-Fire. I remember X-Fire.
Yeah, I followed Towley on X-Fire, and I watched him go to Justin, and I watched him go to Twitch, and I watched him get partnered. And I remember Skin Tally or Fat Tally versus Skinny Tally. I remember watching those. I remember watching that weight loss happen as he was, going through that. But he was a streamer, and I still look at him as an inspiring streamer to me personally, because he doesn't care how big his channel is. What he cares about is his community, and that is always the biggest thing for me. And there are many streamers like that. There are many, many, many streamers like that. They don't care about how big it is. They just care about the fact that people are welcome. Mm-hmm. And Tally, if I had to choose one, it would be Tally at the first. I mean, because he was the one that started it, that passion for me.
All right.
Moving forward.
There you go.
So,
I know there's a lot of people. We had a troll in the channel the other day, and he was saying your stream is dying, and these people are ahead of you. And I was like, I don't care. I know these people, and I wish them all the best. I want them to succeed. I want them to do things. I am comfortable where I am as a streamer with 34 people in the channel right now, and 170 last. It didn't matter. It didn't matter what this guy thinks. You're going to do what you do no matter what is out there, and just be appreciative of the people that are actually there.
Exactly.
And if you can find somebody that inspires you, or like, if this guy can do it, I know I can do it. This guy's going through all of these things, and they open up and they get real personal with you. If he's going through that, my problems don't really seem all that big anymore. So I know that it's not, in the grand scheme of things, it's really not that big of a deal. And those people are always hard to find, and those people, when they are, they're rare, and they're very poignant, and you latch onto those people, and they keep driving you, and that's always a good thing to have. All right. So moving forward into question number 8 of the 9 of averageness. Do you have any tips to an aspiring streamer or a ships streamer, preferably to the ship side of it?
The biggest tip that I can give, guys, is the biggest tip I can give to you guys, if you guys are looking to start streaming ships or continue streaming ships if you're smaller, because I'm still small. I'm still tiny compared to a lot of these guys. And I will say this, the biggest thing is consistency. A lot of these top-end people, the people that have over 50 views on average, they will look to the people that have 2, 3, 4, 5 viewers, and they will host them. Or if you're in their channel, you're hanging out. I'm in Josh's stream, I'm in Venom's stream, I'm in Senpai's stream, I'm in Dort's stream, I'm in Fem's stream. The amount of times that Fem has tossed me a host, because she knows I'm a streamer. She knows I'm there. She knows I'm consistent.
And you're a good streamer.
If you are consistent, that is the biggest thing that is going to get you noticed. People are going to start seeing your name appear in that list all the time. And they're going to pop in, and they might not stay for a very long time, but they're going to look and see, okay, what's he doing? Oh, okay.
What makes this guy?
All right, I'm going to go back to watching this person over here. It doesn't matter. And that's fine to me. I like seeing new names come into my stream, because I know they're going to be back.
Yeah.
I know they're going to be back.
They'll come back. So moving on to the next bit of that, the next question number 9 is, what is your biggest tip for a new World of Warships player that's out there?
This is where it comes down into, this is one of the big aspects of my stream. For those that are actually in my channel a lot, and they notice, this is my biggest tip. Well, actually, there's 2 biggest tips, and this is,
give them both.
I can give them both, because the first one is own up to your mistakes.
There you go.
I can't tell you enough how many times I keep hearing people saying, "Oh, it's your fault. It's your fault that we just lost. It's your fault that we just did this. It's your fault." I don't care. I don't care. I know, like I analyzed last night. We were analyzing why did we lose that game? Oh, okay, because we all made a bunch of little mistakes. I made a mistake. I know I made a mistake, and I admitted to the mistake, and I actually analyzed that mistake with my channel, and I was like, this is what happened. This is how it is. This is how, this is the mistake I made. So, owning up to that mistake is a big deal. And the second kind of goes hand in hand with this tip, with that one, is don't aspire to somebody else's play style. You can take aspects. I learned how to battleship from Dort.
Yep.
But I don't play the same as Dort. I took how his fundamentals were and changed it into something that fit my personal play style.
There you go.
Don't play a cruiser, don't play a DD, don't play a battleship, don't play a CV, don't play any of those classes how you watch somebody else play it. Play it enough that you are developing your own consistencies of how you play it. Yeah, there are tip videos out there on suggestions on how to play it, how to play this, how to play that. I'm thinking of a certain Des Moines video with an spotter playing Des Moines. I don't agree with that. I think it's garbage, but there are people that actually can play that type of spec very, very well.
It's a niche. It's a niche. It's not the norm. It's not the quote unquote meta, but
yeah. But I mean, that's the biggest thing. You guys have to understand that there is no 100% correct play style. How you play your game, there are suggested things. I mean, you're not going to want to sail broadside in a cruiser. That's not a play style. That's a mechanic. That's a mechanic. Yeah. There are a difference between mechanics and play styles, and play styles are how you have to adapt it. But going hand with that, you have to understand the strengths of each of your ship that you play. I know I cannot play my Kerfurst the same that I play my Montana, or my Yamato, or my Conqueror. You can't play them the same. But I understand my play style in each of them, knowing how to. That's
something that I've always tried to do, is not give people the exact way to play it, because there's so many different situations that arise in the game that I can give you basic guidelines on how to play this boat. This should be played this general direction. Say you're playing a Henry, you're going to sit at max range most of the time, a majority of the time, and you're going to kite. And if you can get people to kite you, or you can kite these people, then you're going to do very well in your Henry, and you're going to be successful with it. But that's just a base guideline. You don't have to play it that way. This is the mentality that you need to look into and then work it yourself. So many people I've heard recently, a couple of guys that I know, I can't play ships because nobody would take me in and teach me how to play this game. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, I can give you mentalities, but I cannot teach experience. And exactly. you have to be accepting to failure. You have to be able to fail to learn and to change your thing. And when you go through what Caist is saying, and you go back and you look at the last 10 minutes of the game, or the last 4 or 5 minutes of the game, and you analyze that 4 or 5 minutes, where should I have gone? Okay, I went left here. Why did I go left? Right. Well, I thought this was happening. And you can't do that without playing the game. And it's so unfortunate that I see some of these guys. I'm like, yo, come over and play ships with me. I'll play with you. I will give you some kind of a boost, man. If I can help you grind through a ship that you're struggling with, and that's what I want to do, because I've got everything. Really, I don't have anything left to give. So mental states is something that I try to push, and I know Caist is the same way. We try to push your mentality of it over. Okay, you need to play this. See what I'm doing here. You need to go this way. You need to go that way. Because every game is different, and that situation might work one game, but it'll fail 9 other times.
And it actually kind of goes hand in hand with. So I played World of Warcraft. I would experience. And I was a raid leader. So I would put myself in situations where I knew how to tank, I knew how to heal, and I knew how to DPS, both ranged and melee. I may not have been good at all of them, but I understood the fundamentals. I understand how to play them enough that I can adapt my play style. I know how a cruiser can perform because I played that cruiser. I know how, so that makes me as a battleship main understand better how to push forward and deal with cruisers. Mm-hmm. So.
Yeah, exactly. I totally agree with you 112%. Because we go a little bit over average here. All right, guys, that is Caist. That is the 9 questions of averageness. If you guys are interested, if you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns about anything we talked about here or about the 9 questions of averageness, hit us up in the chat or hit us up in the comment section, and we'll get to those at the end of the channel. You guys can also hit up Caist over at twitch.tv/Caist and hit him over on Twitter at Caist_. You guys can go do that, and I encourage you guys to do that. All right, so moving on, the biggest thing that we want to talk about today are them Santa boxes coming back. They have come back again this year. I think this is the 3rd year that they've done it now. Well, at least the 3rd year that I've been involved with it. And the first year was fantastic. The second year was great, and this year has been even better. There's one little difference this year than it was last year is that there is no premium time in the containers this year. Last year, I ended up receiving 180 days of premium time out of the containers last year. This year, they are not even in the boxes.
I think it has something to do with the new change that just went out.
With the premium time change?
Yeah. Yep.
That's a possibility. That or they gave away too much, and now people aren't paying for it anymore. When they could just be like, all right, I'll just wait. I'll spend $100 here, get a year's worth of premium time out of these boxes, or a chance to get a year's worth of premium time out of these boxes, and then next year I can do it again. So maybe that's why they pulled them out of the boxes. So guys, before we start the rest of this, guys, what are your experiences with Christmas boxes this year? Are you getting the ships that you were looking for? Are you getting any of those? Go ahead and put those into the chat, and we'll talk about those a little bit later on. So, Caist, Crema boxes, man, Crema boxes. What are your thoughts overall on the Christmas boxes first before we get into anything else?
I'm actually happy with them. I like them. Last year I got really good amount of the premiums. Most of the premiums that I wanted last year. This year I bought one set of 20 of the big ones, and I walked away with 4 premium ships, including the Belfast.
Nice.
And I was.
That's kind of surprising. You've been around when the Belfast was coming out.
No,
you weren't around. You came out after that.
Man, I was. Yeah.
That's right. You said you'd only been playing about a year.
Yep. So I never even got the ARC ships. I would give my left pinky for an ARC ship right now, but because of the dragon aspect, I love the dragon aspect of the ARC ships, and I would love to have the ARC ships, but I don't get them.
But they got the Eastern and Southern dragon, right?
Yeah, which you still they're not in the ships or in the game.
They used to be purchasable. I don't know if they're still purchasable or not.
They're not anymore. No, I was happy. I got the one ship I wanted was the Belfast, and I got it. I was happy.
Nice.
I was like,
all right, so it was worth it to you. A lot of people have come into the channel here, twitch.tv/ServantMK. A lot of people have come into the channel asking if the boxes were worth it, and my only answer that I can give is it depends on if it's worth it to you to spend money. Now, there is a 1 in 54 chance of getting an actual boat, and there is a lot of boats on that list. And somebody, Zipshot, if you want to link me that list, if you can find it real quick for me, I'll link it to everybody. But all of the boats that you really can't get, you're not going to get an Alpha, the Milwaukee Alpha or the Arkansas Beta out of there. But some of the ships that are not available anymore, the Kudrsav, the Belfast, the Missouri, the Kronstadt's going away, so it was in the boxes this year. And a lot of people are able to actually get some of these boats that they didn't have. I know for me, Grimmy and Nikolai were the two white elephants in the back of the room that nobody wanted to talk about. And last year we got the Nikolai, and this year, thanks to my man, Fits in Your Mom, we hooked up the Grimmy this year. So that was pretty awesome to get. But for the most part, I only got 3 ships out of it: 2 Krasny Krims and then 1 Grimmy. So
I got your favorite ship in it.
The Omaha Marblehead.
No, it's Marblehead.
Marblehead, yeah.
It was actually the first ship that dropped in the containers this year.
I bet you deep inside you were like, no, Venom's gonna hate me.
No, I wanted to sell it, and then I was like, wait a minute,
you're gonna get it back just like me.
Get it back.
Yeah.
No.
So we ended up finishing up we were finishing up finishing up all of them. I officially have all of the boats that were in the crates through purchase. I purchased the Kronstadt through Free XP, and then I got hooked up with the from Callum, my man, Real Callum. He hooked us up with the Prince Eugene. That was one. I only needed 4 or 5 boats, I think, and we ended up getting them all this year. One, I bought the Kronstadt with the Free XP. Then the Prince Eugene came from my man Callum. And I'm sitting here looking at this, and Missouri, Belfast, Kudasov, Grimyansky, Imperator Nikolai, the Kronstadt is on there, Musashi, Gascan, all these really Belfast, all these really big boats that are really, really good boats are on this list. I mean, Tirpitz, Laterra. Oh, we also got a Laterrable out of the boxes, so I ended up getting four boats.
Actually, yeah, I'm missing 2 out of this list: the Laterrable and the Haida. Those are the only 2. Those are the only 2 boats on this entire list that I do not have.
So overall, are they worth it? I think that they're worth it for me. Some people are like, I've spent $100 and I didn't get anything. If you guys are going to spend money, this is the time to spend money. There's 2 things that they do every year. I don't know if I think they've done it once already this year. I think they might do it again next year, and that is the Armada package, to where you can spend $400 or $500 and get every ship. And if you already have these ships, then you will get the equivalent doubloon value of those ships. So maybe that's worth it for some people to just save up and buy all of the ships at once, or they can risk getting something that they may or may not want. But as of this list, guys, I'm looking at right now, nothing is under tier 5. Everything at tier 5 and above is relatively good, except for the Marblehead and the Murmansk. Those are bleh, and it will never be good. And I don't care what anybody says about it.
On it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's well, okay, so fine. The Nikolai's a tier 4 boat, but that's also one that's not available ever again in the store. So this is the only way that you're going to get it. So I guess that's the caveat to it. So, but what are your guys' thoughts on the actual boxes? Some people think that they're good. Some people think that they're bad. Let me know in the bottom below in the comment section over on YouTube, and you guys can let me know here, and we'll talk to those. There has been some percentages that have been put out there. I believe I've got a spreadsheet open, but this doesn't have the information that I wanted on it. But the small boxes are 3.38% or so of getting a ship out of it. 3%, that's relatively small. The big boxes were about 13%, 13.333, repeating, of course, Leroy Jenkins. On the big $5 boxes, and then here's the one that in the past, the first year and the second year, the $3 boxes have been the best value for a lot of people, because the percentage to get a ship was 10 to 11%. So you went from very small to right in the middle, and then to the big boxes were only 13%. So the $3 boxes, I've found that you'll get more value out of those if you're looking for straight ships. Now a lot of people have said that this is gambling. What do you think? Do you think it's gambling? I know it's a big thing in the EU about loot boxes and crates and things.
I don't know. I can see both sides of the argument. I personally don't think it's a gambling aspect, because you are guaranteed an item.
It's a comparable item as well. It's
a comparable item. But I understand it's a game of chance, basically. So if it was here, you're going to get nothing, or you're going to get something, and here's the flip of a coin on that you're going to get it, then yeah, that's gambling. But because if you look at gambling in Vegas or whatever, it's either you win something or you lose, or you get nothing, or you lose something. So you spend the money, you lose something, you lost. Here, you're spending the money, you're getting something regardless of whether it's what you wanted or what you didn't want. So it really, you get a positive return on an investment.
Even some of the smaller things, like I was getting flags, and I was getting like 50 flags of, like the credit flags or the commander experience flags, and I wish debt flags were in here because I always need debt flags, and I loved getting debt flags. But you're always getting something, so I don't really necessarily think that it's gambling to an aspect. But then again, if you go into anything with kind of expectations on getting something, you can be let down. So have no expectations. Just enjoy the process of opening boxes, and you never know. You might pull the Grimmy, you might pull the boat that you're looking for. The reward for this is when you can have, you can kind of narrow it down through the years by buying the boats as they come out or purchasing the ships when they come on sale. You can get rid of all those tier 5s because you already have them, and then they will not show up in your boxes. So once you have those boats, then the chances of you getting the boat that you're actually looking for are a little bit better. Now, with me, I only needed four boats, or I only needed 4 or 5 boats left, so I ended up getting what I needed out of it. But that's because I have everything already. So, but either way, Santa Crate's a good thing, guys. Go buy them. They're going to be around for a little bit, probably to the end of the year. And I think last year they went into January. I think they're into
January, if I remember correctly. I think they're going to go into. I don't remember the exact date. It's mid-January, I believe.
You guys can, if you guys have not done it yet, you can get 2 free boxes just by logging into your account and clicking on the banner that shows up for Christmas containers. You can get 2 of the $1 boxes. I know somebody I've got 2 boxes, and I got flags once, and the other one I got a ship. So they were good for the year. They didn't end up spending any money. These things. What do you think about this as a whole? What do all of you guys think about this as a whole promotional thing to get people to actually spend money into the game?
January 21st is the exact date for those who are wondering.
Oh, nice. What do you think, Caist, about the boxes on a whole? Because they've gotten really crazy with boxes this year. We got the Twitch drops now. We've got which Twitch drops aren't really that rewarding. They just thank you for watching. Yeah. Here's some doubloons or here's some credits and some flags. But then the New Year's boxes, the Black Friday boxes, the community contributor boxes that are out there. There's boxes going along everything, and I guess it's another way to reward people. What do you guys think?
For a free to play game, I mean, and let's face it, this game is free to play. You do not need a premium account in order to play this game.
Right. Well, we found that out last night. The guy was buying new ships, and he was spending 300 doubloons to get new ships. And we finally figured out that he was buying port slots every time, and he wasn't selling his old. But we fixed him, and we got him on the right path to save him some money. And I told him, I said, "Hey, man, we just saved you a whole bunch of money for playing this game. I know your wife's going to be happy. Why don't you sub to the channel? Spend the money that way." I was kidding. It was a total joke and a total troll, but he laughed about it, and I thought it was funny.
Yeah. No, I mean that's the big thing is, this game is free to play, and they've got to make their money somehow to keep the content coming. You guys want the Alaska. You guys want all the new ship line, a new ship line. You want this stuff coming out. There's got to be a way for them to make their money. And if they have to make their money through selling loot crates or boxes, then that's how they're going to do it. I don't care. I'm going to support the game because I like the game. Maybe I'm young and naive and liking the game in it, but I'm going to continue to like the game. So I enjoy it.
Well,
and I'm going to continue to throw my support behind Wargaming for this game.
Absolutely. Well, like I've said in the past, Wargaming's done a lot for me because they have this platform that I can actually do a show on and have a good time and meet people and be good friends with these people. So I love them for that. They're also on the other side of this. So we step back to what we talked about in the news. If you do purchase this premium account for only ships, it will also encourage them to say, "Hey, look, we have this many people on the system." On our accounts playing nothing but World of Warships. And if we have all of this playing nothing but World of Warships, then we can incentivize them by doing more giveaways, by going to the Let's Battle Tour, firing up the Let's Battle Tour. Hey, Wargaming, fire up the Let's Battle Tour again, man. Come back to Texas so I can come meet all you guys again. Those anchors away in Anaheim. Huge event. It was great for the company. It did very well on Twitch and some other things, and getting a lot of information out there for people, which we went over here on the podcast. They can do more of these things when people buy into things like these Christmas crates or the the Black Friday crates or the premium time. So I highly encourage people that if they only play ships, get that premium account, and buy these boxes. I'm not trying to shill for Wargaming. They don't need me to shill for them, but it does think about it. It does help the community out, and thank you guys for purchasing that, because it will only benefit us in the long run. So, all right. Moving on into the most controversial topic tonight. Guys, if y'all have any questions, comments, or concerns, please feel free to express those into the chat or in the comment section below. And whoever's in the actual live stream right now, we will get to those questions. We got a couple of questions, a couple of comments on the board now. So I encourage you guys to give us some more. The most controversial change that I think have ever happened in this game, next to the smoke change, the Battleship AP versus Destroyer. And I know we talked about this the other day on the podcast, and we talked about it during the Battleship podcast, but this is something that is near and dear to Mr. Caist's heart, and this is the aftermath. Now that it has taken effect, it's been a couple of weeks now since the Battleship AP has changed. How has it changed for you as a Battleship main player?
Really what it is I don't agree with it. I think it was a very bad nerf to battleships, and makes it so that DDs can prey unaffected against battleships. I mean, when I have a gearing doing nothing but charging at me and I'm in my Montana, and he's able to get within 6 kilometers of me, and I put 7 shots into him, and he's half health.
Well, you have to hit a gearing 9 times with a Montana to kill him in one shot.
Yeah, but he was half health after that 7 shells hit him. And it's like, wait a minute. What? So at that point, it depends on the battleship that I'm in. If I'm in a Yamato,
you're dead.
Unless I have something else to shoot at, I'm not shooting at a DD. In a Montana, I'll make the judgment call. In a Conqueror, I'm shooting it, because I'm only shooting HE in a Conqueror anyway.
Don't sleep on that AP now. Don't sleep on that AP.
No, I know. But when I play a Conqueror, I play it Mimi. Yeah. I want to see if I can get double-digit fires. That's my goal in a Conqueror every time I play it. I want to see if I can beat my fire chance of 16. The most fires I've gotten in a Conqueror is 16. And I want to see if I can ever beat that.
This guy's looking
that's my goal.
This guy's looking for 16 fires. I'm just looking for a fire, just one. That's all I want.
A Kerr first. It really depends. If it's within 16 kilometers, with a Kerr first. If it's within 12 kilometers, I'll shoot it. If it's outside of 12, I'm not shooting at a DD. A repub, I'm really weak in a repub, and I make the judgment call based on the map situation at the time. But overall, it's made me less likely to shoot a DD and support the cruisers, and I have to rely more on the cruisers for that. So I find myself shooting more battleships or cruisers than actually shooting DDs now. I just don't find it worth it anymore, because it's not rewarding to me. It's not. I can't actually do anything to support my team by shooting DDs.
Right.
Now that being said, I will shoot DDs.
Yeah.
It's not that I won't. It's I will if the situation does not present a better target for me. If I've got a broadside cruiser or a DD, if I got a DD within 12 kilometers or a broadside cruiser within 18, I'm going to shoot the broadside cruiser, because I know I'm going to get a Citadel on that cruiser.
Attack of opportunity.
Yeah.
It's
I'm not
opportunistic
going to worry
shots,
about that.
and I don't have a problem with people doing that. What I do have a problem with the whole change, and you guys know my feelings on this. I disagree with the change because now you've taken in this world of this game of the rock paper scissors aspect, battleships over cruisers over destroyers over battleships, you have tilted it in too much of the one side. You have balanced it. It was relatively balanced, and maybe it was a little too close. And I agree that it was a little too close. The problem wasn't the pin damage. The problem was the double pin damage, when you would get one shell hit for 8,000 damage. Now they went to the very extreme and took away the ability to get that full pin damage. You still can get double pin value on one shell. Does that make sense? You can still hit this guy for one overpin, but it counts for 2,000 or 3,000, depending on the boat that you're playing. You can still do that if you hit them in the nose, or hit them right in the bow, and it goes all the way through their boat. That was the fundamental flaw with the battleship AP versus destroyers. If you take away that double pin value, then I still get rewarded for my 4,000 damage. Now this guy has to be a little bit more wary. He can't just YOLO rush me. I have been YOLO rushed more since this change came out than I ever have in the 2.5 years that I've played the game.
Yep, 100% agree.
I am at 10 kilometers off of a cap. I am where I'm supposed to be. I am covering the cap and doing my job. And then here comes this guy just flat shooting at me the whole time he's coming in. And I've seen this 4 times in the last 2 weeks. Last week, let's put it that way, last 7 days. I've seen this 4 times, and then there's numerous other aspects that also fit this as well. He comes running in. He knows that I'm there. He starts shooting at me while he's sitting in the cap. I hit him for 1 shell on my 6 guns in the front. I do minimal damage. I do an overpin, and then he just keeps running straight at me. I reload. I shoot him again. Now I switch over to HE. I shoot him in HE. I do 7,000 damage. Fine. I do the 7,000 damage. I reload. I hit him in the same spot again. Guess what? Now I'm doing 2,000 damage because of oversaturation damage. Then the next shot, I do 0 damage because I didn't hit anything that had health left. Number 1. Number 2, I do hit the guy. He's full health, and what happens? I do no damage, and all I do is knock out some stupid AA. That is, HE is not consistent. The thing about the battleships is what you want consistency. This is where the Montana excels over any of the other battleships because it's the most consistent. Most consistent with its guns. It's most consistent with its damages. And then you sit there and you put on something that puts even more RNGesus into the game, and it's a frustrating thing for anybody that wants to play this boat correctly or play the battleship the way that they should be played. Now you have to sit even further back. It has pushed the game further and further back. More and more, and I disagree with this change 100%, and I wish that they would look at it, and I encourage everybody out there to go into the forums and fire up the Wargaming staff to say, hey, this is too much. This nerf was way too much. You guys, these guys do need to be punished when they're under 10 kilometers. Over 10 kilometers, fine. Keep it the way it is, but under 10 kilometers, y'all have to let us get rewarded for our RNG, because our RNG is so scarce as it is right now for battleships that you have to be able to reward these players. I think it's a failed nerf. I think it's a failed nerf. Everybody's like, oh, you need to stay with your cruisers. You can't do that. In a perfect world, you would be able to stay with your cruisers. In a perfect world, these cruisers would actually shoot at what you need them to shoot at. In a perfect world, this shot that's bigger than your freaking boat is going to break you in half. In a perfect world. But everybody knows that there are so many nuances to this game. Not every game is the same, and there's times where you have to be able to punish these DDs for getting too close. I'm punished for being too close. They should be punished for being too close too. What's good for them should be good for us as well. And it is a BS change, and it is an unfair advantage for the DDs to be able to run in there, take shells bigger than they are.
Yeah.
And then be able to drop 9 torpedoes on me or 10 torpedoes and kill me. That's not fair to the battleship player, and it shifts the balance too much into the destroyer's favor when it should be a little bit closer. Because, go ahead.
There is no reason why my Yamato should be able to take both front turns. If dispersion is point on and that DD is 6 kilometers away, and I put all 6 shells from my front turn into a DD, that DD should be gone with those size caliber guns.
Well, also, here's another fundamental flaw with the whole mechanic of the game, with the whole mechanic. The biggest argument that I see that on the destroyer side, because I play destroyers. I mean, when I play ranked, I rank out in all destroyers. I've ranked out 6 times in nothing but destroyers. So I understand getting smacked from 14 kilometers away. That happened to me every once in a while. It was rare. The biggest problem that I have with this mechanic is that anything that's over 280 is automatic overpin on your AP. Fine. But what about the British battleships? Mm-hmm. The British battleships are designed with the short fuse AP to go in and explode quickly. Why do they suffer? Why do they have to suffer from the only overpins now? This doesn't make sense in the mechanics of the game, and they've broken their own mechanics. Mm-hmm. If you want to have this, fine, but you got to make it balanced for everybody to where the British battleship's AP is designed to go in through the lighter armor boats and explode and do massive damage. The only other way that I can see this being, any legit is bring back DD Citadels.
A lot of people keep talking, and I'm kind of reading the comments here, and I'm seeing the people talk about, they don't agree with me. I'm a Battleship main 100%. I did not agree with the fact that in my Montana, I could put a 26 kilometer shot into a DD and knock him down to 1,000 health. I did not agree with that. I don't think that was a mechanic that should have been there.
That should
not happen. But if he is within 6 kilometers or 8 kilometers or whatever, then I absolutely should be able to put as many shells into him, and his ass should be, excuse my expression, but he should be within 1,000. He should be super low, if not critical. He should not be able to charge me within 6 kilometers to guarantee every single torp out of his tube can hit me. If he can guarantee every single torp out of his tube can hit me, then I should be able to guarantee every single shell will knock him completely, make him useless in the game, if not kill him.
All right, so there's been a fundamental thing, and I sympathize with the destroyer players. But a lot of the people that I've talked to have been a very selfish. What is good for the game? All right, so let's take a step back. Let's let our personal feelings aside, Caist here. Let's let our personal feelings aside. And what would be good for the game? Is it good for the game that these battleships sit out at 18 kilometers now? And some aspects, I have watched people in these battleships shoot AP at these guys, and from 18 kilometers. And they hit them once, they hit them once, they hit them once, they hit them once, they hit them for 4 salvos. But by the time that they can actually switch over to anything else, it's too late. It's too late for these guys. They are dead. I've watched a guy charge a dude firing the entire time at 10, 12 kilometers and just run right up on the guy and drop a torpedo. That should not happen. I'm sorry.
No.
It should not happen that I should be popping you from over 10 kilometers for one shots. I agree. But what is good for the game? Now you're pushing the game even further and further away. There is going to be more team aspect oriented, which is not necessarily something that you can do in a 12v12 with only 3 people in a division. Now you have to play a little bit tighter. You cannot push in. People don't want to push now as it is, so you've pushed the game further and further away. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's such a frustrating aspect, and it's such a hot button topic because there's destroyer main players out there that are only looking to benefit their class and what they actually play.
Exactly.
When I'm saying this is coming from an aspect of what is good for the game. The battleship, and it's not efficient for somebody to swap over right now because of the way the reloads work and the way expert loader works. It is not efficient. It is not efficient at all to swap over to HE and back and forth.
My average of 100,000 damage in a battleship, if I choose to switch back and forth on a consistent basis based on what I'm shooting at, my average damage goes from 100,000 to 50,000, and then I'm not considered doing enough to help the team.
Right.
It is not worth it in a battleship to shoot HE most of the time.
The most nerfed class in the game right now has been the battleships. And it's been that way for a long time. What did they do with the Japanese cruisers? They upped the accuracy. That is a nerf to the battleships. Anytime that they buff any other class, it is a nerf to the battleships. There is a proposed change right now to where the cruisers are going to be a little bit more tanky if they sit bow on. I'm sorry, this is not something that is good for the overall game. You are taking the power away from the people that are supposed to be in power. The battleships, they're supposed to absolutely dominate this battlefield because they were the alpha males. Am I wrong? These things are supposed to dominate these cruisers. There's battleships out there at tier 8 and 9 that cannot bow pin anything because of the small caliber guns. Right. So where's the power? Where's the power? And when you force somebody to put in HE, now you're forcing a whole nother set of calculations that is so random that I get 4,000 hits, I get 4,000 damage on my first volley. The next one is half price because it's not fair for the battleship. And the destroyer benefits 100% from this, and the battleship is just left out. Fuck you is the attitude that I've gotten from when we talk about this on the podcast. You're just a battleship crybaby. No, it's not good for the game. It is not good for the game to nerf the damage of the battleship because they are supposed to be the guys that are knocking out all of these other ships, but they can't do it. Their dispersion is too wonky. When you do hit, it's 90% of the time it's an overpin. When you do get broadside, is your dispersion going to be there? Now you're adding in this HE. Am I going to actually get damage? Is this guy oversaturated? Is this guy just going to hit a module? I'm going to hit him 6 times, do 0 damage, and knock out an AA turret. There's too much RNG based around HE, and I think it's a terrible thing when you add more RNG factors into this game. This game is already 70% RNG as it is. Now with this, now you're adding another 5 or 10% on if I'm actually going to do any damage to these guys. To whereas when before AP was at least consistent and you could do some of these things. And a lot of the people, they don't like it and they don't want to sit there and listen to the other side because it's not what they want to hear. So there you go. Take it for what it is. I want to know your guys' opinions there in the comment section. What do y'all know? What do y'all think? Are we just being whiny crybabies? Is it good for the game? What do you think? DD players, now's your time. Now's your time.
That's the biggest thing with me, guys. And you guys are hearing our argument of why we feel a certain way based on our performance in a class. If we are... Prove me wrong.
Change my mind, bro.
Change my mind. No, seriously.
Why is it a good... No, hang on just a second. I want to know, because there's a lot of people out there that have come in when I talked about this during the Battleship Heavy podcast that said, "Oh, you're just a whiny crybaby," and they have zero arguments. They have no factual things. They just want, I like it because I'm a DD player. And that's the only attitude that I've ever gotten. Where is the bonus of this destroyer? Where is the goodness of this game for this destroyer surviving when he is under 10 kilometers? How is that fair for the battleship? Where is the balance in that for the battleship? So I would like to hear some of that, and not just, oh, I like it, it's great, you don't know what you're talking about. Well, there's never been an explanation from any of the DD players to me that have said this is the why that it's good, this is the why that it's bad. The only thing is that you don't have to switch over. Fine. You know why we don't switch over? Because AP was more consistent. HE is too much RNG involved with it. So that's why a lot of the battleships didn't switch over. So because AP was consistent. So if you fix the double pin value, you fix the AP for 8,000 one shell hit to AP for 4,000 for one shell hit, I still have to hit you 6 times to kill you. It serves the same purpose. So now you've literally nutted one whole aspect of the battleship that is the biggest thing that the battleship does. Nobody's explained it the other side.
Yeah, and that's the biggest thing. I'm not asking for us to go back to the way it was. I do not agree with the fact of being able to knock a DD down to it. I said this before. I'll say it again for those who have joined recently. I do not agree with a battleship being able to knock a a DD down to 1,000 hit points in one salvo, or even kill it in one salvo if it is above a certain range. If it's above a certain range, yes, absolutely, I should not be able to do that. But I'm talking about if you're within 8 kilometers of me, 10 kilometers.
We'll just average this out at 10 kilometers, because anything over 10 kilometers, I'm more than willing to sit there and listen to somebody say, hey, I got shot in the nose by one shell and I got 8,000 damage. That should not happen. I agree. I 100% agree. So take out the double damage value. Once that thing hits, if it pins once, then that's all the damage that you get. Take that out, and then you're good. And then everybody's happy. I still have to hit you 4 times. You're still going to get punished. You still can get those torps off of me that you want, but I still have to hit you. And my RNG and my dispersion is going to be the only factor on this. Instead of, am I going to hit you? Are you oversaturated? Did I hit a module? Am I going to do 8? Am I going to hit you 8 times for 0 damage? That is the RNG that I'm talking about. That is the negative of this.
I'm not sitting here trying to say that I want it to go back to the way it was. I don't want it to go back to the way it was, but I do think there needs to be something to hold the DDs accountable instead of rushing in like they don't care. Oh, I don't care. I'm gonna rush into this Montana and not care
because he can't kill me.
Because he can't kill me.
Because he can't kill me. And that's the factor. And even if you do shoot HE and he stays battling on you, fine. You're going to take some damage. You're going to take 7,000 damage on the first volley. You have 30 seconds to get even closer to get your torps off. Now I'm going to get hit by 9 torpedoes. How is that fair for the battleship? And
you're going to guarantee one shot kill me with your 9 torpedoes.
How is that fair for the battleship? You guys are thinking one dimensional here. Would think about the rest of the game. Think about the other point of view. I understand the DD's point of view because I play DDs. I hated getting smacked up by battleship AP, but that's okay. I wasn't going to complain about it. Now all these DD players are starting to complain. I'm starting to hear it in the forum. I'm starting to see a little bit of rumblings in the forums, and people that I'm talking to off stream are saying, "Yo, HE to HE from battleships is too much." I've already started hearing it. And what's the next nerf? The cruiser guys are going to start complaining that the cruisers are getting too much damage from the battleship AP. And it is a slippery slope. And I think that they need to take a really hard look at this nerf and maybe pull back some of this nerf. I'm not going back to the original, but pull it back a little bit. Maybe double the damage on the overpins. So that I still have to hit you 12 and 15 times before I can kill you. But at least I'm getting rewarded for some of the things that I'm actually doing when it comes to AP. I'm not talking about putting it back. I'm not talking about putting it back to the way it was, because it was broken, and I'll be the first one to tell you that it shouldn't happen that way. Like the Invisifier nerf, I abused the hell out of the Invisifier nerf. It should not have been that way. The smoke nerf, it maybe smoke is a different story, but it needed to change, and it definitely needed to change. The DDs, the Battleship AP versus DDs, needed to change, but this was not the correct change. This was a little bit overboard on the change, and they needed to pull it back or double the overpin value, and I'd be happy. You know what I'm saying? Let me get 3 hits for $6,000 instead of 1 hit for $1,000. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The only battleship that's strong against DDs is the Conqueror, and that's if you're shooting HE.
I've still one-shot cruisers with HE on the Conqueror. But that's so rare. Absolutely. And I've also hit every shell on a DD from 6 kilometers and done 4 damage. So where's the deal? And the DD guy's like, and I'm like, okay, well, fuck this game. I'm gonna quit playing now because I'm not getting rewarded for my actions in the game and for my secondaries, or for not my secondaries, but for my skill. The skill base in this game, like I said, is very low, and you're adding even more RNGs that only benefits them and benefits nothing for the other side. It was a direct nerf to the battleship, and I'm all about balance, and I want one thing from one side to be okay, one thing from this side to be okay, and there's got to be a limit. This has shifted it way too much to one side to where it should be a little bit closer. That's all I'm saying about it. But anyway, guys, let's go ahead and go to the comments. If you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns concerns, please go ahead and type it in there. If you guys have any want to come on, if one of you guys out there that are streamers that are DD players that have a better take on this than I do, please send me a message. We'll get you on the podcast and we'll talk about it, and we can have a guys honest debate where you can try to change my mind. I really think that this is a hot button topic that a lot of people aren't willing to fucking listen. And I know I'm saying a lot of swear words right now, and I apologize, but a lot of people just don't listen to the other side of the story. So I encourage you guys to put out your opinions there, because I'm more than open-minded. So, all right, starting in for the first Q&A, guys, go ahead and put them in the chat right now if you have it. Disciple16 says, do you have to start a brand new account? Will the invite friend apply to people who start on the accounts on the console? Yes, you will have to start a brand new account. No, your friend referral program will not take effect. You will have to start a new account on the console if you guys do the console. Fitz and your mom says Battle Station Midway was a game like World of Warships and it worked really well on console. I never played it. Did you play Battle Station Midway?
No,
you don't have a console. Anybody else play Battle Station Midway that will have any idea about this? I'm interested to play it, at least give it a shot. The new World of Warships on console. Just some guy 21 says it is interesting, but yeah, it won't make me go out and buy a console. There you go. I don't know. I mean, the console version of the game, it is a market for it as there is a market for it as consoles are now like Overwatch is on console. I think Fortnite's on console. A lot of these games are any of them cross-platforming?
No.
None of them are cross-platforming at all?
No.
I know Sea of Thieves was cross-platform, and
I know that
was pretty interesting.
There are certain games, that are working on cross-platform, like the Xbox to the PC, but they're not. I don't believe they're actually working towards that on a consistent basis, and that's up to the developer too. So that would be Wargaming making that call, and I don't think they're going to put CVs in a. They're going to put CVs in one version and not in the other.
I still think that if CVs, once they get the rework, maybe they'll look at it if it's console friendly to do it, and in the current state. Yeah, World of Warships on console. We will somebody look and link that. In case you want to link that again for them, since I closed it off already. Actually, I have it right here. Stand by.
I don't have the link right up.
Copy pasta. Here you go. There's the link. The next question comes from Zipshot. It says, will the consoles and the PC versions be linked together? No, they will not. You will have to start a new. We will have to start a new one, and there's the link for that right there. And for you guys on YouTube, it'll be in description below. Disciple 16, it will only help the community if a console has something like a tutorial. Yes, if they do have a tutorial early, that will go to put some base mechanics into the minds of the player. But in the end, it's all on experience and how you play the game and how often you play the game and who you play the game with. Yo, is there any questions out there that you saw that you wanted to address?
I did not see any. I've seen a bunch of comments into the the BBA stuff.
We kind of addressed that, but
I'm not
nobody has ever said. See, that's the big fundamental problem with that debate in question. I can sit here, I can spout off to what it feels like as a Battleship player to get rushed down and feel absolutely useless. And a lot of people would just switch to HE. All right, well, fine, I'll switch to HE, and then feel absolutely useless still. Then the next comment is, you shouldn't be that close. Well, I was already at 18 kilometers. How much further do you want me to be? That's not an answer. That's not a solution to the problem. The next comment is, you should rely on your cruisers. Well, if my cruiser dies, now what am I supposed to do? I still should be able to defend myself under 10 kilometers.
Yeah, but it's also, there's a lot of people that sit there and they're like, oh, you're 18 kilometers, you're not close enough to support your team. Well, it's either I'm rushing in, I'm 12 kilometers out, and then I'm in torp range of almost every single high tier DD, or I am 18 to 20 to 24 kilometers out at max range, and I'm sitting there, oh, you're not far enough to actually support your team. So it's a damned if you do, damned if you don't this situation. It doesn't matter.
There's no win
what
for
the option is.
Yeah, exactly.
You are always going to be criticized for the choice that you make, and that's unfortunate for Battleship mains out there. Is as a Battleship main, you have to deal with the fact of those people out there that are going to say, well, you're too far. Well, no, you're charging in recklessly and you just cost us the game. No, I made the call to charge into the cap because none of you DDs, you 4, 5, 6 DDs on my team would even touch the cap.
You guys wouldn't go into the cap, yeah. So where do you go? How do you have this conversation without somebody just saying you can't? People are going to have their opinions one way or another, and it's unfortunate that a lot of the people don't want to listen to the other side, and they're like, I'm done with this, and then they leave the channel because I disagree with one thing, and some other people agree with me, and some people don't agree with me. But those people that don't agree with me can never give me a logical reason why it should be the way it is.
And that's exactly right, Disciple, right there. 12 kilometers, you get torqued. 14 to 16, you set on fire. 18 to 20, you're told you're not supporting your team. That's exactly the life of a Battleship main. Every single time. Every single battle I'm in, that's the exact argument I get every single time.
Well, that goes to the next argument that I have for battleships is let's start the groundwork talking about battleship dispersion versus the amount of time that we're on fire.
Oh, that's a whole nother podcast.
Yeah, exactly. That is a whole nother thing, because I think that the battleship dispersion is terrible versus I'm on fire 19 times in a game. I literally counted 19 times I was set on fire in a game. And at tier 10, getting shot at by Henrys, getting shot at by Worcesters, and what happens when I can get my volley off? My volley sprays all over the place, and I don't get rewarded for my. And so this is the frustration, man. This is the frustration where a lot of people are not playing battleships anymore. I know a lot of people that aren't playing battleships anymore. A lot of really high value people. They're high value people, but a lot of people that started playing battleships, they won't play them anymore because it's not rewarding to them and it's not fun. To be on fire 19 times, and anybody that wants to have an excuse, well, you have 90,000 hit points, you can take it. Well, okay, fine, I can take the damage, but where's the reward on my volleys? I'm not getting those rewards anymore. Not like I used to. A lot of the vets are using gaming to help with PTSD and anxiety, not just WoWs, but gaming in general. Otis Streck is talking about your. Reason for starting streaming. I totally agree. I'm suffer from a mild case of PTSD myself, and when you get down and when you get into some of those thoughts and evil things that people think about generally, gaming has always helped pull me out, and streaming as well. So that's always a nice thing to be able to turn it around and go to a community that supports you no matter what happens. Griffin GF says the community is awesome, but there are times I just want to beat people with a hammer. That's a comment. There you go. Nut Hyper says I live by karma. If you give love, one day it will come back. I agree. Caist himself. Caist is himself, and that makes him different. There's a lot of people out there that are not themselves on stream, and those people are rooted out very quickly. And, well, we saw that recently here in the actual community. They are putting on a show, and if you don't agree with that show, then they don't have anything for you. So, well, that's their right and prerogative, but those people are not for long in World of Warships community, I think. But they find places otherwhere to go and do those things. So. Hyper Zen Girl says, I find it very strange when you have to sub to someone to watch their VODs. I want to know what you do before I follow your channel or sub to you. But if you are not live, I can't see your VODs, and I don't know what you are all about. This is going back to why I instant leave channels when they have follower only mode on. At 15 minutes, and they have four followers, 4 viewers on their channel. You want to encourage people to talk into your chat. The interaction is what I get out of streaming. I know Caist is the same way. All of us get interaction out of the chat. How am I going to interact with you, and you are going to earn my follow by sitting in there and not being able to interact with you for 15 minutes or 20 minutes or 30 minutes? I'm sorry. I'm done. I'm gone. I want to be able to talk to this guy, get into his head, see what he's thinking about before I even say if I want to follow the guy. Because I've sat in channels for hours before just chatting back and forth, and he'll say something really stupid that I laugh at. Oh, that's a follow, or that's a sub, or anything like that. I'm not gonna automatically sub to you just because I want to talk to you. No, sorry, can't do it. I've watched YouTubers and streamers. This is Otis Streck. I've watched YouTubers and streamers. Knotzer actually showed me how to aim. I could not figure it out why I was not hitting ships at the time, and now I'm fairly accurate. Map awareness? Meh. Lol. Map awareness is my number one tip. Turn in the names on the minimap and so on and so on. That's my biggest tip, 100%. Turn on those names on the minimap and play according to the minimap instead of what you're seeing in front of you, because there might be something around the corner that has been spotted that you're pushing around into, and then there you go, you got torps. What's your thoughts?
No, I mean, you said it exactly. That's exactly what you hit the nail on the head.
There you go. Big M says 3 ships and 25 boxes. Nothing super that I wanted. Big M talking about the Santa crates. It's unfortunate for him. Let's see. But he did get some ships, so there you go. Mr. Chess 1 says, I got a Dunkirk with just a $1 box. It's all fine. It's a gamble for fun. So it was worth it for him, too. Mr. Chess also says, I used to one-shot a destroyer in a Kurfürst. Now he can YOLO tort me, and that's about all the BBs will have issues to carry. That's pretty much the whole statement there. They're a little bit too strong. The punishment for them being under, I'm punished, they're not punished. There's no balance. That's the entire argument there. Thoughts?
Yeah, no, I mean, that's exactly, it's a shared sentiment amongst a lot of battleship mains out there. Battleship mains are not looking for they're not looking for it to go back the way it was. We're looking for it to be balanced.
We're looking for, I mean, like I said, I'd be happy with a doubling of the overpin value. I would be willing to go that far. But that's about as low as that. What we have now is just atrocious for battleship players. Osa Streck says, I play both destroyers and battleships. I'm not afraid to charge a battleship on my DDs anymore. So yes, I agree, it needs to be fixed. That's one statement and an answer in itself. The Mad Max Oz says, are they addressing radar? Have you heard anything about radar?
No, the only thing I do know that they did was they tested it internally. For those who missed it, they tested it internally for radar not going through islands, and it completely broke the game. Literally actually broke the game. So they weren't able to go with that. They had to go right back to the way it was.
On the other aspect, they did another change as well that they tested, and it was accuracy. If you're highlighting somebody or trying to shoot at somebody that is on radar, they tried to mess with the dispersion factor, and they couldn't get it balanced. It was either too much or not enough, or if it was too much, then it wasn't effective, or if it wasn't enough, then it was too effective. So there was no general balance on that. They are working on the last change that I heard that Sub Octavian said at Anchor's Way at Anaheim. You guys can go watch that VOD if y'all want to. That they were looking at a delay in spotting from when the guy that has the radar gets to spot him and gets to shoot first, and then after that, then there is a time delay throughout that minute. Say if you're getting spotted by demonies, there is a delay between when the guy at 18 kilometers will see the guy than the people that are actually closer. So which is kind of what I had anticipated with the smoke change. I was hoping with the smoke change that if you're within 8 kilometers, say you're in a Kudasov, and say you're within 8 kilometers, anybody within that 8 kilometers can see you in your smoke because you're firing your guns out of it. That guy at 10 kilometers cannot see you. He cannot punish you. He does not get rewarded for staying back. He has to push in, and it will push gameplay. So this is something to protect the DDs a little bit, because radar is a little bit overpowered right now. It goes too far. It lasts too long. The DDs do need some help on that aspect. So radar going through islands was never the biggest issue with it. It's the length and duration, and how far it goes, I guess. So yes, they are still looking at reworks on radar, but they have not found one that they like or that they can balance as of yet. So AnnieGeek5150 says, as a Battleship player, when people start complaining what I'm doing outside if I die quickly, I just tell them to shut up and play the game. That's pretty much it. Just shut up and play the game with what's out there. There was a couple of more out here in the chat that I saw. Low Rolls here says, relying on a cruiser now to deal with DDs is BS in the current matchmaking. I had a match last night, 5 battleships, 6 destroyers, and 1 cruiser. The only DD left after 3 to 4 minutes. Only destroyers are left after 3 to 4 minutes in the game because that cruiser's nutted off the map. It becomes unbalanced, and I don't know how many of you guys. I'm still probably in that old mindset where if you see a battleship slinging HE, he's a scrub. He's just not a good player, and I have fought to get my head out of that. To where it is okay to shoot HE in certain situations. If you have smaller caliber guns, i.e. the Germans, the Italians, the French battleships, these things do have relatively good HE, and you can swap back and forth. This is where Expert Loader does come in, but Expert Loader is not the answer to DD play. It's not the answer because you have to wait. So let's just, for example, and this is just one example, when you're shooting at a guy at 18 kilometers away, you Citadel him. Now you got to wait 30 seconds to get your reload on. Then you have to hit the button and wait another 15 seconds. By that time, that guy's got his torps out on you, and it's just not efficient. It's not an efficient model for the game for the battleships to swap over to HE continuously back and forth. And I don't know how about you. I don't know about you guys out there, battleship players or destroyer players or anything like that. I have lost a lot of damage trying to swap back and forth because I would swap back, do no damage to the guy when I hit him 6 times. So that's always a frustrating thing. Low tier battleship grinding is so damn painful since the AP nerf because everything at AP overpins. Also going back to that Floopy Sniper Ducko. Is that guy's name? Thank you for the question, by the way. The problem with that is that the battleships at the lower tiers are so inaccurate that even if you do get a shot on them, you're doing nothing anyway. So where's your consistency? Where's the consistency that the battleships need to be good? The next question says, "Don't nerf." Or Disciple says, "Don't nerf radar until you balance the BBs." Yep, I'd be fine with radar if they let the battleships be their true potential again. Zipshot. I want to be able to pin guys. I want to be able to knock them off the board as a battleship. What are you looking for as a battleship when you see cruisers out there?
If a cruiser's broadside, yeah, I think it should be punished. But if it's angled or whatever, I should be able to at least be doing some damage. I'm still getting no damage pens on cruisers, and I think that's absolute garbage.
LaFloopy Sniper Ducko. This is what I don't understand with the smoke. If a battleship was smoked up and it fires, the smoke clears from it when it fires, and that's why the reason why a BB smoke up in place so easily detected. All right, so the mechanic behind the way the smoke, that originally they had the smoke change go, is that you would go into the smoke and you would smoke up your battleships so they could be relatively safe, right? This was before the smoke change. What they had anticipated on doing, their very first mock-up of the change was when a battleship fired his gun, it would dissipate some of that smoke, meaning it would lower the time. So in this world of destroyers and cruisers that rely on some of their smoke to be defensive capabilities, to line of sight blocking, to sit in and pew pew, it ruined the mechanic of the destroyer. Because I don't know how many times you guys have done it, fired your guns, you roll into a smoke, you push a guy out, now he's out of his smoke, you fire your gun while you're in that smoke, now the smoke is gone, this DD is useless now, that smoke is wasted. So what they've done is they said, any whatever caliber, you're going to be spotted from this particular range. So like Kudasov, 7.7 kilometers. If you're within 7 kilometers, everybody can see you because somebody's spotting you and they're radioing it around. So that's the way that it has worked since the smoke change. Did I agree with it? It was fine. There definitely needed to be a change because of just everybody sitting still. And in the interest of moving the gameplay forward and getting the game more aggressive, it was a good, smart change. Disciple says he only shoots HE at his Scharnhorst. Mr. Swole says, Scharnhorst AP is phenomenal, though. It has great pin for its caliber. Just can't expect to pin 400mm belts. That's right. If you're shooting AP in a Scharnhorst or small guns, 15-inch guns, or anything like that, be sure to aim for that deck line, and you will see some decent damage, as opposed to having to sling or feeling like you need to sling HE all of the time. So, any other comments that you wanted to address? Anything else, man? There's not really any left.
No, I'm good.
All right, guys, that is it. That is all, man. Tell us what you're working on the show real quick, Caist, and we will save it. We're going to save that. Boom, exit. Where can they find you? Tell us about it, man. What you working on? Come on, last chance.
Guys, you can find me over at twitch.tv/Caist, obviously right below here. On Twitter, @Caist_. You guys catch me over there. That is my primary method of communication. Also, you got the Discord link over on my Twitch channel, so go check that out. Coming up in the stream soon, our next month, actually, during the month of January, I'm going to be doing a charity month. We're going to be trying to raise $500 for Chive Charities. Those who don't know what Chive Charities is, and I'm totally going to steal this here because I'm...
Steal it.
So Chive Charities is... basically right from their website. Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it's the only thing that ever has changed the world. For those who have lost their voice, Chive Charities provides a megaphone. Those who have lost their independence, Chive Charities restores their freedom. For those who have lost all hope, Chive Charities works tirelessly to build them a better future. Chive Charities is committed to championing the underdogs, targeting 3 specific causes: rare medical diagnoses, first responders and veterans, and special education initiatives. Chive Charity spreads awareness through sharing the personal stories of grit, courage, and never giving up. So my goal next month is to raise $500 for Chive Charities. Hopefully you guys can follow my channel. Come on over, hang out with me next month. Let's raise some money. Let's do some good. And like the Chive actually says, is all we want to do is make the world 10% happier. So let's make this world 10% happier, guys. Go forward. I hope you guys have an amazing evening. Venom, thank you very much for having me on the channel. I really appreciate it.
It was an enjoyable conversation. I always enjoy talking about ships and talking about other people's channels and other people's streams, and maybe we can get you some views as well. Guys, I am Sir VenomIK. Thank you very much for hanging out with us. You guys can hit me up over here on twitch.tv/SirVenomIK. You guys can also have links in the description below for Caist, his channel, and of course everything that we talked about today. All the links to the news section. So there you go, guys. I thank you very much. This is episode 12 of the Across Your Bow podcast. I am, like I said, Sir VenomIK, the Dean of Averages. Don't forget, 24-hour stream coming up on December the 14th. There's no reason why we're doing it, because we're getting very close. We're getting very close to 9,500 followers here on the Twitch channel, and we will do a 24-hour stream for 10,000 as well. So we are celebrating some other things that we have had going on in the channel as well. So guys, come over to twitch.tv/SirVenomIK. If you guys want to continue the conversation, we will be playing some games. Case, you're down for a couple of games?
Yep, I am.
Absolutely, we will definitely come in and play a few games. If you guys want to continue the conversation, please hang out. We're going to cut this here in just a second, and then we will be back up with some games. So anyway, from all of us here in the pit and over there in Caist Christmas Tree Alley over there that he's got going on with his cats beating each other up. That was hilarious, by the way.
Yeah, I know. I was laughing the whole time. I was just like, crap.
We will be back next week with Krieger. Krieger is another community contributor here on Twitch, and with Wargaming, we will be talking about some other things, and I will let you guys know what those are in the upcoming streams right here. You guys can go follow it. Go over to Caist's channel, twitch.tv/Caist, and @Caist_ for his Twitter. I love you guys. Thank you very much for watching. This has been Across Your Bow podcast. Yeah, whatever. Across Your Bow podcast, episode 12. We are done, boys. We love you. We'll see y'all next time.